Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jesus Talk YouTube channel. Once again, I'm in my car or van. I don't know. I decided once again come here just to kind of give a part two of the testimony, but it's not gonna be a part two. It's a part two, like a follow up. Because last night I talked about my testimony, and now I figure it's about time to talk about who God is. Now, these videos are gonna be uploaded back to back, so you're wondering like, oh my gosh, he's uploading 2 videos a day. That's not actually the schedule of the videos. I'll be uploading a video a week. Alright? That's the plan. If I don't upload a video a week, it's because I'm busy with something else. But without any further ado, let's talk about what this channel is about and who is God. Let's talk about it. So, what's the channel about? Well, we're gonna be talking about Bible. We're also gonna be talking about religious history, interesting things I found about the Bible. It's not just gonna be us talking about just the Bible. We're all gonna be talking about religious history and how people use their lives for Christ, missionary trips, and just ridiculous things that people did because of ridiculous things. We'll be talking about a bunch of crazy things. Some of them a little bit ridiculous, some of them kind of like, ugh, why? And also we're talking about some cults who use God's name in the wrong way. And you're probably wondering why. Reason why, so that you guys don't do it either. So you guys know okay, false prophets and all that stuff. That's what I'm going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's finally get to the main point of the video. Who is God? Very simple answer. He's the creator of the universe. He's the creator of you, the creator of me, the creator of everybody. But it's not the only one here. And I know it's not the only one here. Because you're going to be like, well, that's not true. The Big Bang happened. Can something come from nothing? Can something come from nothing? I want you to answer that question. Go ahead. No. Something has to come from something. Long story short, God made the world. But the world fell from his glory. Why did he fall from his glory? Because of sin. Let's talk about that. God made the world in 7 days. On the 7th day, he did not do anything, but he rested because he knew his work was good. And he did a really good job. He did a fantastic job. Very good job. He did made Adam. Eve didn't come yet. Eve didn't come around yet. Adam came first. And God realized that Adam felt like he was a little bit alone. He's like, I'm kind of the only human on earth. Lord, can you give me something to do so I'm entertained? And so God's like, okay, go ahead and name every single animal that I made. Go ahead and name them all. So he did. He named the lion, he named the elephant, he named the pigeons, he named the penguins, the polar bears, everything. Now today, we're naming things that we have just discovered that Adam didn't discover. So, yeah, he didn't name every single one. He named a couple of them. But the majority of them that we know of today, he didn't really name any of them that are deep down below the sea. He didn't name those out. I think we named them later on. He named all the land animals and the animals that flew in the sky. So all the birds, all the creatures that fly, and the land animals. I don't think he named a lot of the ocean animals, but we don't know for sure. It's not really written down. So then I was like, Lord, I'm still a little bit, I kind of want someone I can relate to. And then God's like, why not? Alrighty. First of all, go on with your day. Trust me. And Adam's like, okay. So one day Adam falls asleep, and God puts Adam to a deep sleep. That way that he cannot wake up at all. He takes one of Adam's ribs, and then he makes it into a woman. And Adam wakes up, and he looks at her, and he's like, oh my goodness. The Lord has given me a gift. Another person. I'm going to name you Eve. And off they went as a happy, loving couple, right? Hang on, the story goes off the rails a little bit. After Adam and Eve got together, a little while later, so God told them to not eat fruit from a special tree, and that tree was called the knowledge of good and evil. There's a very obvious reason why. We'll get to that in a minute. The reason why they didn't want to do it is because that, well, it'll break their faith and their trust with God. So they didn't do it. But at the very end, they did do it. So what happened was, Eve was minding her own business. She's in the garden, and then she's like pretty close to the tree that she was told for not to eat from. And then a serpent comes up onto the tree, sees Eve, and calls her over and says, "Hey, see that fruit? Go eat it." And Eve questions him on that because, like, God told her not to eat the fruit. She's like, "Okay, why?" The serpent tells her that if you eat that fruit, you will be as smart and as powerful as God. And Eve's like, "Oh, this is something I want to eat." But then she hesitates. And then she questions the serpent on this. "God told me not to eat the fruit, though. Why should I trust you?" But the serpent, of course, being the serpent, decided to go in and trick him. So he tells Eve, God is hiding that from you. He doesn't want you to know that. God doesn't want you to be as smart as him because he knows things that you don't know. And if you know these things, then you'll be more enlightened than him and more smarter than him. And then that got Eve to break. So she grabbed the fruit, ate it. It's like, okay, I'll give that to my husband. She's going to give some to her husband. And Av doesn't question where she got the fruit from. He doesn't question it. He doesn't even question, like, hey, where's this fruit from? It's not written in my Bible, at least. Like, I have a NLT, NIV. I don't remember what Bible I have. All that I know, my neighbors. Sorry, I was looking at my neighbor. All that I know is that he didn't question her at all, which is crazy to me. Crazy to me. If I was in Adam's shoes, I would have asked where the fruit came from first before I would eat it, but nothing really he could do about it. He was tempted because, of course, he was probably hungry at the time. So he just ate the fruit. Just ate the fruit. Just ate the fruit. Just ate the fruit. And afterward, they start getting the knowledge that the serpent was talking about, but it wasn't the knowledge they were expecting. It was actually complete opposite. The tree knowledge of good and evil made them have the knowledge of good and evil, hence the name, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So when they ate the fruit, they realized they had no clothes on. At first, they didn't care because they were shameless because of the perfect world God made. But the instant that they ate the fruit, they're like, oh, we don't have any clothes on. Eve, come here. Go get some leaves. We're going to cover our private parts with it. That way we're not exposed like this. It's kind of embarrassing. And we're going to go hide. They were going to try to hide from God. How? They tried to hide from the Almighty God that created them. Do you think, how long do you think they were hidden for? I will guess probably around a couple seconds. I'm pretty sure God instantly found them, but God decided to go ahead and just pretend that he couldn't find them. So here he is around the garden being like, Adam, Eve, where are you? He knew where they were. He was just trying to see if they could come out. How brave they were if they were going to come out. Sorry, I'm looking at the window. I'm just distracted by just my town. But that's not important. Alright, so God's like, hey, I found you two. What are you guys doing? He knew what they were doing. And then I was like, oh, Lord, I have no clothes on. You're my wife. We're embarrassed by this. We have to hide. And God's just like, wait. How did you know you guys had no clothes on? Eve then speaks up and confesses and being like, the serpent, my lord, he tricked me. He fooled me. He made me eat the tree from the knowledge of good and evil. And then God's just like, oh. He wasn't mad at them. He was extremely disappointed. So he turns to the serpent and said, you, serpent. Serpent looks back up at him. You, serpent, you will now crawl on your belly. And instead of walking on your four legs, you'll crawl on your belly. And pretty much cursed him. Like, crawl on his belly for it. And that's how we got our snakes. So then Adam and Eve thought they were off the hook. But then God turns at them and said, you two, since you guys have sinned against me, you will now be banished from the garden, and you will one day die. Eve, your childbirth will be extremely, extremely painful. Adam, you're going to have to work extremely, extremely hard in order for you to keep up with everything in life. And these two are terrified, because it's God. It's God, for crying out loud. It's God standing before them, literally saying, why did you guys do that? Like, why did you guys disobey me? And you're probably thinking, well, why didn't God just not have sin? You can't force someone to love you. That's like if God was a robot and he's trying to force other robot guys. This is a bad analogy. Let me just try to think of one. It's like you want to build a city. Let's just say you're going to build a city. Build a city out of, let's just say, clay. And make some little clay guys. Clay city. And then when you're clay, you want your clay city. We're going to call it Claytown, because of course. We're going to call it Claytown. So you want Claytown citizens to love you. But are you going to force them to love you? No, you're going to give them choices to love you or not. Forced love is not true love. Amen to that. Forced love is not true love. Forced love is unjust and unkind. So what God did was like, I'm going to give you guys free will. Are you going to follow me? We're going to follow the ways of the world. Are you going to trust me? Or are you guys going to trust your own selfish desires? What are you going to choose? And they chose to follow the ways of the world. So God kicked them out of the garden. And to make sure they didn't come back, he got an angel with a flaming sword, and he stood at the entrance of the garden so no one could ever enter it again. To this very day, I'm pretty certain we have not found the Garden of Eden. I'm pretty sure we haven't. If we have, then forgive me. But I don't think we have. And then, after that, they were off on their own. They had God, but he was just like, oh man, why did they do that? He was like really upset. He was kind of upset, being like, he was really disappointed in them, being like, why did they do that? We could have had a perfect world, and all of a sudden, gone like that. And then after that, the rest of the Bible continues. But what we got down to the point was who God was. God's the maker of the world. God made everything. He made Adam and Eve to be in a perfect world. He gave them a choice, and they chose the wrong choice. The choice that they chose was the world than God. And that sucks. That sucks. What's interesting about the story of Adam and Eve is just how Adam just didn't question where Eve got the fruit from. I was very, really confused on why he just didn't really think twice about it. But probably temptation got to him. But yeah. So, what did we learn? Go ahead. I'll give you a little second. Give you guys a little bit of time to discuss to each other, or like to yourself. What did you learn? Give you a couple seconds. Alrighty. I'm gonna tell you what I learned. God made the world to be perfect, but we messed up. We messed up big time. Does that mean that we're doomed? No. After the rainbow, and during Abraham times, God gave us a promise. A promise of the Messiah, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Holy One, the one true Son of God, Jesus of Nazareth, which we'll be discussing in episode 3. Now, after episode 5, I'm no longer going to be being like, oh yeah, I'm going to explain this in episode 17. Sorry, episode 17. There you go. Yeah, episode 17. I'm not going to be doing something stupid like, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video off here on episode 88. I'm going to completely forget which one I'm going to be on. So if you just say, I'm going to end the episode off here. So that's who God was, and that's what we're going to be doing on this channel, where we talk about Jesus. I'm going to help you guys if you guys want to learn more about God. I'm also on the journey as well. So take everything I say that I might be wrong on that with a grain of salt, because I might be wrong on it. Okay, so just make sure that we will have longer videos than this. We'll have like 30-minute videos discussing. I'll have my Bible with me and all. We will be doing this mostly-ish outside. We'll do some outside stuff. I don't know where we're gonna do that, because there's not really a place for me to prop up my phone anymore for me to really record. So I gotta maybe buy some things the next time I go to the city, because as I said at that point in the video, I'm looking out my town randomly, because and also I know I'm not in a random white area. There is trees behind me. Trust me, there's trees behind me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video off here. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to learn more about God, consider staying with the channel. You don't have to. You don't have to subscribe and all that stuff. But it's just like a little ask, I'm not one of those guys who made please subscribe right now in 5 seconds. I'm not one of those guys. What I do, however, is just ask politely if you guys would stay with the channel. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I wish you guys could stay with the channel and listen to me talk to you guys. I'll keep running this channel for as long as I possibly can, until I either run out of stuff to talk about, or I move on to better things in life, which is probably not going to be the second option. It's probably going to be the first option, but there is a lot for me to get through, because we're also covering a ton of stuff like religious history. And that religious history is how the Bible was made. We'll be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about just how the Bible was the best-selling book of all time. We'll also be talking about, we'll also be talking about World War II, because there's actually really interesting stuff that happened with the Bible during World War II, and we might talk about that after we discuss who Jesus is. Because we're not just talking about the Bible, we're also talking about biblical history. This is pretty much the whole channel. Biblical history and stuff that's in the Bible. And also, we'll be talking about books that didn't make it into the Bible, and why they didn't make it into the Bible, and if I agree with it or not. Which all of them are so far a yes. I do agree that they're not in the Bible. They should not be in the Bible. I don't know why people put it in the Bible, but you know what? I'm getting off track right now. I need to end the video right now before I keep rambling my mouth. So, thank you guys so much for listening to me, and may God bless you and have a fantastic day. And before you guys go, here is a Bible verse. God bless you, my friends. Have a good day.